Hi everyone, I thought I'd make an early start on the karmic reading this week because, as I said in my last video, if you caught the DM reading that I did yesterday, you will hear that I said last week it took 6 hours to upload the video on Sunday. So I thought I'd do it Saturday night and just hope for the best. So obviously it's Saturday night now in the UK, so I'm going to go ahead with the karmic reading. So this is a reading, if you're joining me for the first time, this is a reading for those divine feminines whose divine masculine is in a karmic relationship. Okay, so we're going to see, we've been following this collective for the last few months, and we're going to see how the divine masculine is feeling regarding the position he's in. And what strategy the karmic is taking, how she's feeling. I do refer to them as he and she, but please take it whichever way it resonates to your situation. I just do that for ease, really, that rather than having to keep saying it's not gender specific. So take it as you will. But thank you for all your comments, by the way. I'm loving the fact that so many of us in this same collective are having similar experiences. It's just amazing, really. So yeah, thank you for sharing, and if you haven't already subscribed, please do so. I would love you to. And the channel is growing, and it's lovely to have you on board, as I always say. So right, let's get started. So Spirit, how is the divine masculine this week, please? How is the divine masculine feeling about his karmic situation? How is he feeling about his karmic situation? Okay, so we have commitment. Let's get the other cards. Let me see if that'll push up a bit more so I can fit them all in. Okay, one more please, Spirit. Thank you. We have professional assistance. We have transformation. Interesting. And we have true love. Do you know, that is so interesting, because I have shuffled these cards over and over and over again, and yet in yesterday's reading we saw some of these same cards, and it's following the same pattern. So we have a really definite thought process going on for going on for the divine masculine at the moment. The divine masculine, in yesterday's reading, which was just a general divine masculine read, we had the card of commitment in terms of him wanting to commit to his divine feminine. Okay, it's interesting that we've had this card out first, and I asked how he felt in regards to the karmic. I do feel that at the moment he feels like he's got a commitment that he has to fulfill with the karmic. But what's interesting is we have professional assistance. This again came up yesterday. So I do think that although he feels somewhat committed to whatever the circumstances are in his karmic relationship, he is, and I do get the feeling he's being a bit devious about this because he's having to be. I get the feeling that he is seeking professional advice regarding what he can do moving forward. Because, again, this card came up yesterday. The divine masculine is ready to make a big transformation in his life. He wants to make a big change. He doesn't want to be in this situation. This is what we've been seeing for the past few weeks. So although we see a card of commitment, I don't see that as a lifelong commitment. I don't feel that that's something that he wants with the karmic. I see that he is committed to a particular set of circumstances that he's in. He is therefore getting advice on how he can free himself from that situation, because he wants to change it. Look at this major transformation card. This is the equivalent, for those of you that aren't that familiar with tarot, it's the equivalent of the death card, which the death card is all about major transformation. And, he's ready. Look at this bridge. He's ready to walk across that bridge. And what is he walking towards, Divine Femme? He's walking towards his true love. I'm so sorry about this lamp. I can't get this angle right and it keeps shining on the cards. But look, he's walking towards his true love, which is you, okay? And I take this very much as a twin flame card because we have the mirroring going on here, you know. This is also a card about learning to love yourself, you know, looking at yourself in the mirror, you know, doing shadow work, loving your inner self. So yes, the Divine Masculine has been doing some of that in recent months. We've seen him going through a transformation, but I do feel that he's learning to accept himself as he is. He's learning to take the steps he needs to take to move forward. And he wants to walk across this bridge, as I just said, into, you know, into partnership with his divine flame. Divine flame? Seriously? Divine feminine, you know, his twin flame. And what I find interesting about this is that this card, it has like a matrix here. In another deck that I have, there's a card called Divine Matrix, and it is a card which shows that, you know, a relationship or a situation has been divinely orchestrated. And this reminds me of that because there's like a network of lights, almost like a fancy solar system type thing. And it reminds me of the Divine Matrix, you know? And he knows that that's where he wants to be. He wants to follow his spiritual guidance, you know, follow his heart. And he is seeking advice as to how to get out of this particular situation. Now, we don't know, obviously this situation, as I always say, this set of circumstances is going to be different for all of you in terms of your circumstances. I'll get my words right in a minute. You know, your circumstances are going to be different with your Divine Masculine, and he's going to have different things that he's dealing with. But whatever it is, as I say, at the moment, this is why he's taking so long to take a move, to make a move, because he feels sort of committed to a situation here. That's really interesting. In fact, before I do the karmic, because I normally do a row of karmic cards next, but what I'm going to do is go down the Divine Masculine row and just see how he feels about each of these cards. Thank you. Yeah, look, he's afraid. How many times, DFs, have we seen this card come up in this karmic reading? So many times through the last few months. So the thought of being in this commitment, in this set of circumstances with this karmic is terrifying him at the moment. It's bringing out very deep fears for him, you know. He's not in a good place in terms of, you know, he's struggling at the moment. I mean, it's good that he's stepping forward to take this professional advice because at least he's doing something proactive about it. In the past, we saw him stuck in this energy where he just didn't know what to do. He was really, you know, fearful of what was going to happen. So, you know, this to me highlights that this commitment, it isn't a happy commitment he feels with the karmic at all. He feels somewhat stuck. But it's interesting that he's writing paperwork here. He's signing a contract. The word contract is on that card. And, you know, the thought of getting any deeper into his situation is causing him a lot of stress and a lot of worry, which is why he's taking the steps to take advice here. So let's find out how he's feeling about this advice. What's this about, please, Spirit? Is it that one? It is. Okay. Yeah, look, he's trying to bring himself some peace. You know, we have the heart chakra highlighted. We have this lovely warm green energy, this soothing, healing energy. So he's trying to, they've just said assuage. Assuage, that's never a word I use. But, you know, he's trying to ease his fears by going down the very head-led route of, you know, getting advice that he can, you know, base his decisions on, you know. I must stop saying, you know, I said it 3 times in that sentence. It's a habit. Anyway, you know, he's finding that reassuring. So whatever professional advice he's getting, it's giving him hope. It's healing his heart. And he's feeling that there is a way forward here. We'll find out more about that in a little while because I am going to go through with the tarot to look at what the next steps are. But I just want to see how he's feeling about these different stages. So how's he feeling about this transformation energy, please? How is the Divine Masculine feeling about the transformation energy? Thank you. Yeah, he knows it's not going to be easy. There's going to be people that's going to stand in his way here. He's ready for a battle. Look at him. He's got his shield ready. You know, he's protecting himself. Again, he wants to protect his heart. But more than that, he's protecting himself from the judgment of others, you know, other people's opinions, other people telling him what to do. You know, he knows there's going to be a backlash from him walking away across this bridge. So he knows that this major change is not going to be easy. And that's why he's dealing with all the sort of any legal stuff he has to deal with, whether it be a house, whether it be children, you know, whatever the commitment is that he's tied to. It could be, for some of them, it could be a divorce, it could be a separation, but there could be, you know, joint business between them or something. You know, whatever it is, he knows this walking away is not going to be easy from a practical point of view and from the backlash of others. You know, he knows the karmic isn't going to take it easily, and he knows that other people aren't either. So, and what about the true love, please? Why do we have true love here? How's he feeling about this? How's he feeling about the true love, please, Spirit? How's the Divine Masculine? Thank you. Yeah, intuitively, you see, we have the third eye chakra. So, you know, his intuition is saying to him, that's where you need to go, you know? That's where you need to be. You'll be happy when you're with your Divine Feminine, you know? So he's receiving that guidance. He's now actually tuned in to his intuition after a very long time. We have seen this gradually progressing, haven't we, for the Divine Masculine over the last few months. You know, he's gradually sort of come to grips with getting out of his headspace a little bit. We know he's still got fears, but he's now beginning to listen to his heart and to listen to his intuition. So, you know, he still feels that he's being guided in that direction, which is why he's going to take that action. Bear with me. So let's see how the karmic is feeling about things this week. So Spirit, please can you tell us how the... Oh, thank you. Oh, we've got two. That one. Okay. Oh, gosh. Now that's interesting because the creative endeavour came up in the Divine Masculine reading yesterday. If you haven't seen it already, you know, please check that out because it was quite interesting and it was very reassuring for us as Divine Feminines. But this card came up for the Divine Masculine yesterday, that he was being very creative in the way that he was handling this situation because he was trying to move forward with the least turbulence, really. But here we have a creative endeavour for the karmic. Just make sure that's in camera shot. And it came up with another one. Yeah, I wondered if it would. So we have some deception. And again, what was interesting yesterday, and I keep talking about yesterday's reading, but it just fits with what we're seeing here. Yesterday, this came up in the Divine Masculine's reading, in that he knew that someone around him was being very deceptive. And what do we have today in the karmic reading? We have the card of deception with creativity. So this karmic, last week we saw this, we saw her going, I'm calling her her, it could be a he, but you know, we saw the karmic using creative strategies to actually try and re-entice, yeah, we'll go with it, re-entice the Divine Masculine, you know, because she felt she was losing him, which she is, frankly. But, you know, this time we see her being very devious and using her creativity again to keep the Divine Masculine. That is her aim at the moment. Let me just see if that's in. I can never get them both. That's it. In camera shot. So let's see what else. So in terms of, you know, she knows that it's interesting that we've got the darkest fears over here. She can feel that his reluctance, she can feel his distance, and he's afraid of how he's going to come out of this set of circumstances or this relationship easily, because he knows that she's being deceptive. He knows they're playing that. It's not even a game, but they, you know, the roles that they're I say the roles that they're playing, how interesting. It's because it doesn't feel genuine or authentic to me. You know, the energy I'm feeling here is, you know, they're almost like they're like I mean players in a theatrical sense. I don't mean it in a sexual sense, but they're like dodging round each other because they're trying to second guess what the other one's doing, and they're not addressing this issue head on. So we have her being creative but being very devious. We're having the divine masculine feeling very afraid because he knows what she's doing, but he's trying to get, you know, advice, and thank goodness he is, about how he deals with this. So, you know, I very much felt that was professional advice regarding legal matters. And part of the reason I felt that was because of the nature of the picture of that card. But it could well be the emotional advisor that he was seeing in previous week's readings. You remember that I said I felt we kept getting professional advice coming up, or we kept getting expert advice, I think it was called, coming up for the divine masculine, and it very much felt like he was seeking advice on how to handle this relationship or the circumstances he'd got himself into, because it felt like he was talking through those issues with somebody, but someone in a professional capacity who didn't have a vested interest. So that could well be this person, you know, that he's talking to about the relationship. But I do feel there's some legal matters moving forward that he is trying to get the heads up about, you know. So yeah, take that how you will from your circumstances. Do let me know if it resonates, won't you? Okay, so this is interesting for the karmic. We have new beginnings. New beginnings. So she's being creative, she's being devious, but there's a new beginning here. I'm going to get another card on that because I'm not quite sure at the moment. There is a baby in this picture, so there could well be a pregnancy. And that could be what she's being devious about. It could be that, you know, for some of them, she may be pregnant. For some of them, she may be planning a pregnancy. For some of them, she may be pretending to be pregnant. You know, there definitely seems to be a baby that's significant in this scenario. But she maybe thinks that if she goes down that route, that will give the relationship between them a new start, because there will be this commitment. This could, of course, be the commitment that he's struggling with. This could be why he's feeling so afraid, he's feeling tied down, because it isn't as easy to walk away if there's children or a baby involved. So whichever way, she seems to have been very, very deceptive and very creative here in order to try and keep him. Do you remember a few weeks ago we were saying that she was pulling out all the stops to actually try and keep the divine masculine? Well, this is pretty extreme, but it looks like this is what some of the divine masculines are dealing with the karmic, you know? That this is the sort of plan that or the lengths that she will go to try and keep the divine masculine. Yeah, she's definitely taking steps forward, look. So she will do anything to actually, you know, move this relationship forward. She will do what needs to be done. She sees this divine masculine, and we saw this right at the very beginning, way back in sort of June time, where we were looking at the karmic relationship with the divine masculine. She saw this divine masculine as her security. Look at the size of that building, you know? That to me always talks of solid future, strong foundations, you know, moving up in life, because, you know, this lady in her beautiful dress is going up the steps towards this beautiful foundation. And it kind of feels like that's still a driving force for this karmic, that she wants security and you know, she feels this divine masculine can give her it, so she will go to any lengths in order to keep him. Oops. Let's see, what's the other card, please, Spirit? Do you have another card for us? Thank you. Yeah, we have the card of travel. I think that came up in last week's reading as well. We'll clarify this in a moment. But, you know, for some of them, I know at the moment travel is quite difficult, but she may be planning a trip away. You know, it may be in the planning stages. Yeah, she may want to rekindle romance, for example. We'll clarify this in a moment because I'm not getting a clear message. They're saying to me holiday, so it may just be she's planning some sort of romantic little break or something. You know, it could be something of that type, that, you know, she's taking those steps forward, putting that effort in basically to try and keep him. But I'm going to go through and see what her feelings are at each of these stages, and that will give us some more information. So, why do we have, how is she feeling regarding this deception? How's the karmic feeling regarding the deceptive energy and the creative endeavour, please, Spirit? I missed it, sorry. Thank you. Yeah, she's being quite devious and she's being quite clever because she's choosing her battles here, you know? So some of the time she'll be very charming, she'll be very creative, she'll be, you know, what I call fluffy, if that means anything to you. It sort of just describes it to me, you know, all sort of sweet and light, you know, fluffy energy, basically. You know, she's not going into confrontation with the divine masculine because she doesn't want to risk pushing him further away. So she's being very deceptive about how she moves things forward here. Let's find out about this new beginning. How is she feeling about these new beginnings? What is she up to, please, Spirit? What is the karmic up to? What is she doing here? How does she feel about it? Which one is it? I don't know which one it is. Thank you. Flow. Yeah, I mean, she's, you know, she wants her life to be peaceful. Okay, she wants to just be able to meander through it because she thought she was having an easy life with this divine masculine. But at the moment, I think she's not sort of, they've just said, I don't know, really? They've just said to me she's not taking any precautions. So some of you, some will take that as you will. So some of the karmics in your divine masculine's life are going with the flow and going in hope that, you know, a situation regarding a baby or regarding children will be enough to keep this divine masculine anchored to the karmic side. So, you know, I don't get flow energy from that in as much as a relaxed energy. Yes, she'd like to be feeling that. She wants, ideally, him to be totally in love with her and everything to be flowing beautifully and everything to be calm. But because it's not, she's hoping that bringing a baby into the scenario or using children in a scenario in some way, you know, may bring this beautiful new beginning that just flows. The divine masculine is not in the same mindset, as we clearly see. So what is she taking steps about and how is she feeling about it, please? How is she feeling about these next steps? Okay, so we have listen. So it may be that she's been party to a conversation. Maybe she's overheard the divine masculine, you know, talking to somebody. Maybe she's been, you know, listening or trying to read between the lines as to what he's been saying to her, you know, and maybe she feels, maybe it's the conversation that she's overheard that has made her feel like she's got to take some action to protect her stability here, you know. Or it may be that if she, I don't know at this stage, but I am getting this feeling that maybe this karmic has been talking to family, maybe friends about her situation. I don't get the feeling she's talking to lots of people because I feel that she likes to keep up a pretense that everything's fine. But I do think that maybe she's been confiding in somebody because she's not been feeling good. Because let's face it, you know, the karmic entered into this relationship thinking it was a forever relationship. So, you know, she is going through all the emotions that are, you know, disappointment, upset, anger, all those things she's dealing with herself. We mustn't forget that, you know, she's a person too. And so, you know, she will have been confiding in somebody she trusts. She may not have told them the full story, but she may have told them some of it. And maybe they're encouraging her to take steps to secure her future. You know, maybe they're encouraging her to reignite the romance by planning a trip, you know? I don't know. But whichever way, she's been listening to somebody. I do get the feeling she's overheard conversations that the Divine Masculine has had. And I don't think she was meant to. But that's the feeling I'm getting from that card. So let's find out about this travel. How is she feeling about traveling? What's this all about, please? What's this all about? Which one is it, Spirit, please? That one and that one. They want me to take two, so let's see what these two are. Oh, gosh. Oh, my goodness. You know, Spirit have been so on point this week. It's been even quite shocking for me. I don't know why it still amazes me after all these years, but it does. Oh, gosh. Okay, so we have the karmic who is thinking of taking a trip. She's you know, planning, as I said, perhaps a nice trip, but she's also mindful that for some of you, she doesn't want the Divine Masculine to travel either. So she's keeping an eye on anything that is suggests travel for either her or the Divine Masculine at the moment. And the reason for that is, for some of you, you may be living a distance from your Divine Masculine, or you may live just round the corner, but whichever way, she's keeping an eye on any journeys that are taking place, because she feels that she's in a win or lose situation. Her instinct tells her that the Divine Masculine wants to be with his twin flame. And I always say in that deck, I mean, look at this. This is crazy. I'll come back to the other card in a moment. But this is why Spirit are so on point. Look at this. Two different decks, same row, two twin flame cards. Extraordinary. And I always say this is a twin flame card because it's very much about, you know, the two bodies but one soul. She knows. The karmic knows that that is where the Divine Masculine wants to be. That's where his heart is. And she feels that she's got to put in some effort, but she's also got to monitor his movements because she knows that she's either going to win or lose depending on what effort she puts in, because she knows that he wants to be with his Divine Feminine. That is the clearest message we have seen from the karmic about her realising where he wants to be. We haven't seen it that clearly, and she really feels she's up against it. She feels this is why she's taking, in some instances, if they're planning a pregnancy or trying to, or have become pregnant recently, they've gone to drastic measures because they realise it's win or lose. And they're trying to use that situation to keep the karmic. For some of you, to keep the Divine Masculine, sorry. For some of you, there may be children in the mix already. You know, the Divine Masculine may have children with this karmic, or the karmic may have children that he's become very attached to. Whichever way it is, there are children in this scenario being used to try and win out this situation, because she knows that she could very, very easily lose to the Divine Feminine. And she knows that one day the Divine Masculine could pack his suitcase and he'd be gone. That is very, very clear. The karmic must be living in a lot of anxiety at the moment, you know? I mean, it's ironic, isn't it, that we have our divine masculines living in a lot of anxiety, and yet here we are with the karmic living in a lot of anxiety, and you think, really, guys, is it worth it, you know? But there are very complex situations and emotions going on in their relationship and their circumstances. Right, let's have a look at some next steps. Okay, so Spirit, let's see what the next steps. Can you give us 4 cards, please, for the next step for the, thank you, divine masculine, I was going to say. That's too many, that's 5. Can we do that again, please? Because I'm not sure that that was focused. For the they keep doing this to me. Why do they do this to me? Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Yeah, look at this. I mean, that sums up the divine masculine, doesn't it, really? In that, it should be that way around, really, because, you know, how he's feeling is he wants to put all these difficulties, all this hurt, all this pain behind him and take a leap of faith into a new start. You know, here we have him up here with all his fears, you know, about this current situation he's in. You know, he feels downtrodden, he perhaps feels used, he feels like he's been tricked. All these negative situations, he doesn't know how to escape it, you know. This person here is reaching for their broomstick, they can't reach the broomstick. You know, he's been really struggling with it. But here he is wanting to make this fresh start. So we have him up there with his darkest fears, and down here, he knows it's not going to be easy, but he wants to take this leap of faith, this transformation, you know? Oh, that's really funny. I'm actually just feeling really quite dizzy. It's interesting, those of you that have been following the channel, you'll know that recently when I've been doing the twin flame readings, I've been getting a lot of really bad headaches. And this was energy picked up from the divine masculine. But that's eased in the last few days. That has eased tremendously. But suddenly, with the thought, when I bring out this, you know, taking the leap of faith card, knowing it's not going to be easy, I get this feeling of dizziness, like I'm going to sort of pass out. That is so interesting. So, you know, he knows it's not going to be easy. Is there anything else, please, in terms of what the divine masculine wants? What's his way forward, please, Spirit? And what is he planning? Thank you. Yeah, look, he wants a new clear beginning. He wants clarity. He wants to have a truthful conversation, you know. He wants to actually clear things up here. He wants a clear new beginning. And that's something else that has been coming up in the divine masculine readings recently, is that he doesn't want to drag his divine feminine into any messy business with the karmic. So he's trying to make sure that he cuts whatever ties he can in the karmic situation in order to have a fresh, new, lighter start, to put all that pain behind him and to have this lighter start with the divine feminine. What else, please, Spirit, for the divine masculine? What else do we see? Yeah, look, here we are. He does want to have that conversation, you know. So it is a clear new beginning, you know, to move forward with clarity. And he wants to have a conversation with you. You know, he's ready to speak his truth. He's learned his lessons. Look at this card. And this came up again. This is one of the cards that came up in the divine masculine reading yesterday. We have books here. He's learned lessons here. You know, he maybe still has a way to go because we're not seeing knight energy here and we're not seeing king energy here. But we are seeing the page who is ready to talk with clarity. It's a sword card. He's ready to talk. So, yeah, he's seeing things a lot more clearly these days. But that came out with the 7 of Swords, which tells us that he's having to be a bit devious about it. Well, how interesting is that? Because was it last week's reading where we were saying that he was being a bit devious towards the karmic because he was trying to find, you know, ways to get advice and to do things that didn't include her, or something to that effect. Well, now we see a karmic being very deceptive, but we also see the divine masculine thinking he's having to do things in quite a devious way so that the karmic doesn't find out. And I think part of the reason for that is that he wants to protect the divine feminine, as I just said. He wants to make sure that she's not, the divine feminine is not dragged into any of the dramas that the karmic could create, you know? So let's see what the karmic is planning in her next steps then. Can you just give us some cards? I'm not doing them in any particular layout here. I'm just doing them as spirit present them. Yeah, she's in hermit energy, so she's sort of in her own thoughts at the moment, you know, wanting to take time out, wanting to be a lot more peaceful, doing a lot of thinking, a lot of planning. You know, that's what we see at the moment. This is probably when she's planning her creativity. Oh, this is interesting. This is very interesting because this just fell out on top of this card. And look at what it is. I mean, this is extraordinary. I was just saying, wasn't I, that she knows about the divine feminine, and that she knows that the divine masculine will go towards his divine feminine at the drop of a hat. And what card falls out of the deck on top of those two cards? The Empress. This is the divine feminine card. So you are very much on this karmic's mind at the moment. And it may be that the divine masculine knows that. It may be that you've come up in conversation and, you know, he maybe is worried. If the karmic is mentioning you in conversation, the divine masculine may well be very worried about that because he might not know what she's planning because she is in this devious energy. So this is why he, in return, is trying to do things without her finding out, even though he wants things to be much clearer. Is there anything else, please, for the karmic? Is there anything else for the karmic? Yeah, she's determined to hold on to what she's got, you know? She sees the divine masculine as providing her security and being her security. So although she's quite fearful, you know, and there's a whole world out there that she could, you know, go and benefit from, she wants to hold on very tightly to what she's got. She's afraid of letting go, and she's refusing to let go. So, yeah, it's sad really, but, you know. Yeah, okay, so we have the Seven of Cups. It's like she's trying to make up her mind. She knows that there's options. She knows the divine masculine's got options, and she knows it's you, divine femmes. So, you know, she's deliberating on what's going to happen regarding these options, but she also is toying with the idea, although she's determined to hold on to the divine masculine, she is also thinking, you know, what options have I got? What will I do should I not be with my divine masculine anymore? She thinks that the divine masculine is hers. So, you know, is there anything? One more. Yeah, you see, this is what she wants. She wants the Nine of Pentacles lifestyle. This karmic has always wanted this lifestyle. She's wanted to be able to, you know, be abundant, you know, sitting in abundance, having a nice relaxed time, the divine masculine providing for her, you know, she's got plenty to eat and drink, she's doing what she wants to do, he's providing everything for her. You know, normally with the Nine of Pentacles, I would say that this is about, you know, hard work being completed. And if we look at it in another way, it could be that she's thinking, look, I've done the hard work for this relationship, so I deserve abundance, basically. I deserve this divine masculine providing for me, you know? So she maybe thinks she's done the hard work. But actually, this, to me, when it first came out, it just felt like this karmic feels that this is the lifestyle she wants and that this divine masculine can provide it for her. So yeah, they're coming from very different places with very different goals, very different aims still. What I do find reassuring, in fact, let me see if I can get a card. Spirit, can you give us a card for this situation regarding the professional advice, please? How does that move forward? Because that will be the pivotal thing that brings the divine masculine forward, won't it? Oh, thank you. Yeah, look at this, the beginning of action. That's just what I said. Didn't I just say that will be the pivotal thing that brings it forward? And here we have the beginning of energy. There's also passion in here. But, you know, the Ace of Wands is all about new starts, new adventures, new beginnings, you know, things that are action-based. So, yes, that's exactly what I just said. This professional advice will give the divine masculine what he needs to be able to move forward. And here we have the evidence, you know, the beginning of new action. And isn't it interesting? Look, we have the quill pen. I love this. Just look at this. It isn't a quill pen he's got in this card. It's a normal pen. But it's almost like it's all going up in flames, because we have something brand new starting here. I just love it. Spirit never failed to amaze me, honestly. They just said thank you very much. That's really funny. You're welcome. Right, okay, this is turning into yet another mammoth reading. So I am going to go with Moonology. I like to finish with Moonology. So let's get a couple of Moonology for the Divine Feminines, please, Spirit. A couple of Moonology for the Divine Feminines, please. Yeah, look, the energy is gaining momentum. That's why we saw the Ace of Wands. This energy is gaining momentum. So, you know, don't worry. Things are moving. They may not be moving as quickly as you want them to, Divine Femmes, but they are moving. And look at this. Your commitment is being tested. So how patient are we, Divine Feminines? And I say we because I'm also a Divine Feminine. How patient are we? Your commitment is being tested. Can we have two more, please? And then I really must finish because it will take ages to upload. Balance spirituality and practicality. So yeah, make sure you're getting on with your everyday life, Divine Femmes. I know it's not easy. I know the twin flame journey is at times extremely difficult. I understand that. Trust me, I'm treading the same path as you are. But, you know, allow those lovely 5D moments where you send loving energy to your divine masculine and you feel his presence. But also, you know, make sure you're doing your everyday things and just being practical about your life. You know, don't put your life on hold totally because you're waiting for your divine masculine to come forward. Oh, that's one card I need to take. Which one was it? This one? Lovely. I love this card. Look at this. The end of a tough cycle approaches. That's what we like. That is what we like. Didn't I just say that the twin flame journey at sometimes is extremely difficult, and Spirit always hear what we say, and that's why they're telling us the end of a tough cycle approaches. Thank you for that reassurance, Spirit. Right, lovely Divine Femmes, I need to leave you because I don't want this to be a long video or I'll still be here on Monday trying to upload it. Sorry YouTube, but you know, it's been busy on YouTube recently. So I hope you enjoyed the reading. If you do, please give it the thumbs up. Please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. It makes such a difference to the channel. And yeah, well, I think that's about it. What day will it be next week? It'll be the day after Boxing Day, won't it? So yeah, we'll see if we can check in with the karmics then. And yeah, don't forget to check out the other twin flame readings, especially the divine masculine reading from yesterday. I don't tend to attach that to the end of the karmic reads because I like to keep the karmic reads with other karmic reads, if you know what I mean. I don't like to mix the energy, really. But anyway, that's just me. So yeah, take care of everyone. Have a lovely weekend and I will speak to you all really soon. If you want to book a private reading, by the way, information down below. I have still got some spaces over the next week, especially since I've we've just been put back into lockdown. Okay, take care everyone. Bye.